What's up, guys? It's Super DBZ 800J here. Back at you guys with another video. So today I figured I'd be doing a movie review of 2018's Halloween. So essentially, this one is pretty much a remake of Halloween 2, the original one. This is a remake of Halloween 2 pretty much, even though it's called Halloween. So pretty much, to explain the plot, it takes place 30 years after the original Halloween. So what John Carpenter pretty much wanted to do with the series is he wanted to reboot like the whole series because Halloween throughout its sequels is the timeline's pretty nuts. So John Carpenter was like, hey, screw it, let's ignore all the sequels and just start fresh. So this is pretty much all the original stuff that happened in Halloween 2, like Laurie being Michael's sister, Michael getting shot in the eyes, the hospital blowing up, all that and everything else from that point is discarded. This one, the 2018 remake of Halloween, like I said, it's pretty much a remake of Halloween 2. So this one takes place 30 years after the original first movie. So everything in the original first movie happened. Michael getting shot off the balcony, Michael killing Judith, yada yada yada. So, in this one, it kind of takes a spin on things. In the beginning of the movie, you have some journalist people that are wanting to interview Michael. And, of course, the way Michael works out, he's in an insane asylum, as always. And, of course, being the dumb journalists that they are, they're like, oh, we want to interview Michael. We saw the murders that happened in 1980. He killed his sister, yada, yada, yada. And being the stupid people that they are, they're like, hey, Michael, we got your mask. Check this out. Say something. And, like, it's kind of cool the way that the asylum, specifically for me, when I saw this one, I thought the atmosphere of the asylum, like the way, like the camera shots that they do, and the way that the asylum looks, like it's not even inside the asylum, it's outside, kind of on the, I guess, prison yard, I guess you could call it, with the other inmates. Like there's a bunch of inmates like chained up in different corners outside. Michael, of course, is in the middle. He's all chained up, and it just looks cool. And the floor is like, it kind of looks like a chessboard, which is kind of cool. And Michael, of course, when everyone sees the mask, of course, everyone starts freaking out. And the thing that I find funny is that the other insane people at the asylum, like, hey, this dude in the middle, don't mess around with this dude, because he gonna kill people. And it's kind of cool because Michael is actually unmasked for like maybe, give or take, a little bit of the first half. He has some gray hair. He's aged. He got a little bit of a beard growing on, a little bit of scruff, but he got gray hair and he looking a lot older. Same thing with Jamie Lee Curtis, who's also in the movie, who of course is Laurie Strode. And she's the Scream Queen, bro. She is back, and she kicks butt, man. She kicks butt. But obviously, of course, Michael breaks out. They actually in the movie are transferring Michael and the rest of the inmates, and Michael, of course, bus crash. Michael gets out, kills people. And it's actually kind of cool the way that he ends up finding his orange jumpsuit, or not orange, blue jumpsuit and mask, specifically because the journal people still have it, and they actually go to interview Lori during the movie, which her house is freaking awesome. I love her house. It looks like a normal house, but then there's like a underground kind of bunker part of her house with like 30 different weapons and bombs and food. Like, the underground part is like a freaking bunker, man. I love it. And she's prepared for Michael. And even throughout the movie, she's like, hey, let this dude break out. I'm gonna kill him. Let him break out. I'm gonna throw hands. And that's what Michael does. I think one of the cool parts is, so he finds his blue jumpsuit. He kills, so they go into like a gas station, and he kills the main dude at the gas station, steals his clothes, and then kills the two journaler people. And the cool thing that I find is the girl, she's in the bathroom, and the cool thing that Michael does is he like goes in there and he starts like banging on the stall. And the cool thing that he does is, Michael is obviously, his physique is like real tall, he's kind of bulky, and what Michael does is he killed the main like front worker, desk dude. He killed him, and he has his teeth, and he just reaches over the stall and like just drops the dude's teeth, and like you just hear all the sound effects, and he ends up killing both of them. And of course he finds the mask in their car, which of course Michael, man, he doesn't stop, man. Michael's a G. And there are some pretty good kills in the movie. There's also a psychiatrist dude who's obsessed with Michael. He's kind of a ripoff of Dr. Loomis from the original movies, but unlike Dr. Loomis, he's not cool, and he just comes off as insane. And Dr. Loomis is awesome and a really good character. He's kind of hopping on Michael, bro. He's like, oh my god, Michael Myers, The Killing, blah, 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 so cool. And like, there's a part where like Michael, I think he gets stabbed, and then he gets run over by a car, and of course Michael is presumed dead, and the psychiatrist guy is friends with the police, and he kills one of the police officers in the car. And of course Michael wakes up in the police car, and like this dude, the psychiatrist dude, being like a super fan of Michael, is like, oh my god, say something, Michael. And like Michael, in my favorite kill of the movie, probably, I hated his character anyway, not Michael, the doctor. He stabs him in the throat, and like he dies, but then he essentially squishes him, and then he's on the ground after being stabbed in the throat, and Michael just like curb stomps, Street Fighter this dude, just bam, like squishes his face, and he takes his mask back, and it was so cool, dude. I love that kill, especially when Michael actually like stomps on his head, because you see the dude's face just fall apart. There's parts of the face everywhere, there's bits everywhere on the road. And Michael just doesn't care. He just gets back up. Michael just gets back up, man. Same thing with Freddy vs. Jason, when they tranquilize Jason. When they tranquilized him, Freddy possessed one of the kids and tranquilized Jason, and Jason killed that kid. But yeah, and then of course he catches up to Lori, and Lori ain't messing around, man. She packing the heat. She got the strap. She essentially, Michael, before getting to Lori, he comes across this other family, and of course, it's Lori's granddaughter and her family that we follow, and Lori's kind of isolated, and so the granddaughter babysits a random family, and of course the kid sees Michael in the closet, and of course the kid's like, oh, there's a man in my closet. I think there's a monster. And the girl, this isn't Lori's granddaughter. This is one of her friends. She obviously tries to shut the closet door and doesn't see Michael. And then when she finally goes to shut it, Michael pops out, stabs her, and kills her. Which I think the funny thing is the kid just dips out. And the boyfriend that she had invited over is like, "No, that's my girl. She's dead. I'm gonna fight him." And so the kid... I'm a sick and twisted person for thinking this is funny. But the kid dips out, and he's like, "Run! There's a dude upstairs!" And he dips out of the house, and the guy, like, grabs a knife, and he's like, "I'm gonna fight him!" And, like, goes up to fight Michael. And, of course, Michael being Michael, obviously he won that fight. But we get to see the death, and the dude... So a detective comes in later because he got a 911 call, and the detective sees the boyfriend, and he just has his knife, like, just in the throat, like, in his throat. And it's cool because he's pinned to the wall. And I know it sounds kind of weird and sick and twisted for me to think it's cool and funny, but it's just so cool, because, like, the knife went through this dude's throat and, like, into the wall. So his body is, like, actually, like, in the wall, kind of hanging. And, like, why would you fight Michael? The kid knew. He dipped. He lives through the whole movie. I mean, not that we really see him, but he lives. But he's like, run! Like, he knew to dip. But then he gets Lori, and they fight, and she ends up trapping him in the basement of her house. And it's a really good movie. Overall, Michael, I think this was a really, really good sequel, especially with the weird kind of timelines, the Halloween, kind of like Saw. Like, if you don't follow Saw, like, I guess if you don't watch them in order, or if you don't watch them, like, consistently, then it gets kind of confusing. Halloween in the past, like, with its sequels and whatever else, it's gotten that way. Halloween Resurrection was one of the weird ones. That was the one with Busta Rhymes. That one was kind of weird. I like the part where where Busta Rhymes is dressed as Michael Myers, and he plans to scare the kids. And this is actually my favorite part in the whole movie. And Busta Rhymes is dressed as Michael Myers, and he sees the real Michael Myers behind him, and he thinks it's one of the other cast and crew from the show. And he's like, "Gary, what you doing here, man? I left the back door unlocked. I'm Michael Myers. What you doing, bro? You're not supposed to be dressed in costume. I left the back door unlocked. Go." And of course, Michael, he does a little head tilt, and he's like, he just like looks at him and he's like, "Go on, bro. Go, Gary. What you doing?" I love it because of the way like it's just funny. But this movie, man, um, it's just good. Like a lot of really good kills. There's another kill specifically that I liked in this movie, where the main girl, Laurie's granddaughter, she breaks up with with her boyfriend during the prom. There's like this big high school party in the movie, and another guy tries to slide his way into the DMs and tries to date her, and Michael pops out because they went over this fence into this house, and Michael was in the backyard, and he uses, and this is a really cool effect. So there's like, I don't know what you would call these, like really big, I don't know what type of lights they're called. They're like the really kind of like stadium lights, like football stadium, like NBA stadium, I guess stadium lights. I don't know what you call them, but they have those in their backyard, and it keeps cutting in and out, and with every time the light goes out and turns back on, Michael gets closer to the kid, and they kind of fight. Michael gets a few good stabs in, but just to make sure he's dead, the gate that they climbed over, the metal gate, Michael takes him like in a chokehold, grabs him by the throat, and just like impales the kid on the gate. And it was one of the greatest kills, dude. I love that kill. That was another really good kill, a really good scene. The whole dynamic with Jamie Lee Curtis too, like in the movie, like she's really isolated, and like she doesn't really talk to her family, and she's been talking about Michael all these years about wanting him to break out, and there's kind of this weird relationship she has with her family. They don't really want to see her. They don't really want her around. But she keeps insisting, "Oh, Michael's going to come back. He's going to come. You guys got to be ready." And she really has a bond with her granddaughter in particular, because she's the only one that really believes her and kind of comforts her. And Jamie Lee Curtis kind of gets the Jack Nicholson Shining treatment of kind of going insane throughout kind of the, I guess, middle of the movie, and then slowly she starts to go a little insane. Obviously, Michael and her end up fighting. It was a really good movie. And of course, the music was always good. There were some new songs. John Carpenter, man, he's a genius, man. They had the Halloween theme in there, the chase music, obviously. They also had new music, obviously, which in this one they have bonus features, and it's actually really cool because they break down like what different music they used and how they made like new music or remade the old theme, and it's actually him and his son working together to work on the music, John Carpenter and his son, which was really cool. Music is definitely iconic in horror films in particular. I think that's like a make or break in a lot of horror movies, from like Friday the 13th to Halloween to a lot, like even sounds like Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, like all the different things. I think that like make or break your horror movie. just like Saw, like the whole game over theme, like is really good. Like at the end when Jigsaw gets up from the floor and he goes over to the light to turn it off and then shut the door, and the music is like doo 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 doo, and then he's like game over, and like shuts the door. It's like doo 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 doo. Like it just music plays like such a big part. Same thing with like Halloween, like with the do 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 do, like with the chase music, like the do 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 do. Like everyone knows like the Halloween and the Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw. I think music plays a really big part, and John Carpenter, man, as usual, he nailed it. He's a genius when it comes to that aspect, as well as directing. I think he did a really good job. I really do think that the Halloween series needed to kind of start fresh, and this was a really good movie to start that clean slate. It's really good. The ending in particular. So Laurie and Michael fight, right, and like I said earlier, her house, like part of it is underground, like it's kind of a bunker area, and so she kicks Michael down the stairs, and she has literally made the bottom of her house, like the underground part, into a booby trap if she needs to. So she pushed like a button on the stairs, and gasoline starts pouring on the floor. There's spikes above the stairs, so Michael can't get out. And she takes a lighter, and the house goes boom. The house goes boom boom, and Michael is presumably dead, quote unquote, because we know Michael just keeps coming back, man. And it's actually really cool because at the end credits, you can hear Michael breathing, which is I guess an indication. Like, and the theme song plays as well, and it's like the heavy, like Michael Myers, like the breathing. Overall, I think this was a really good movie. I like it. It's a really good sequel to Halloween. I love it. I love it. It's definitely one of the best horror movies that I've seen lately. Definitely. Like I said, this is a sequel, so the only thing you would really need to watch before this one to understand it is the original. So if you want to see this one, watch the original Halloween first and then watch this one. But yeah, that is my review of 2018's Halloween. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and subscribe.